I'm here for my seventh episode of Quick Questions with Joe Batcheller, and Joe is currently running for Mayor of Sioux Falls. So, how did you decide to run for mayor?
I was born and raised here in Sioux Falls,
Hmm.
and I have been interested in cities my whole life.
Sure.
And I see opportunities for Sioux Falls that we're
Yeah.
not doing yet.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a good thing going, but if we want to live up to our full potential, there's some more dots that really need
For
to be
sure.
connected. And I feel like with my background and my experience that I'm uniquely suited to be able to do that. And I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that, my kids uh, have a good choice of whether or not to live here. They have
Yeah.
opportunity here, and just make sure that Sioux Falls is a place that they would want to call home.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, maybe explain some of your experience that would make you the best mayor for Sioux Falls.
Yeah, well, I alluded to it a little bit. Most recently, I was president of Downtown Sioux Falls
Yep.
Incorporated, and led that for close to a decade.
Hmm.
There was a lot of pieces that were put in place before I started, but once I got there, we really focused on keeping downtown clean and safe and
Yeah.
beautiful and active. And it just, we hit this tipping point,
Yeah.
and downtown has just been a fantastic success story
Yeah, for
since
sure.
then. Prior to that, I was an urban planner in Colorado.
Hmm.
And so I worked in a couple of different cities there. And so I bring that executive leadership experience with
Yeah.
some technical expertise to really connect those dots that I spoke about.
Yeah. A little off topic, but you grew up here. Did you ever go looping downtown?
A little bit, yeah.
Do you remember
When I
that?
was in high school, it seemed like it was more kids from outside of Sioux Falls
Okay,
that would come
sure.
down and go on the loop. I remember
Yeah.
when we would go down and we would chat up other kids,
Yeah.
they're from like Baltic and Harrisburg
Yep.
or maybe even farther away.
Yep.
So,
I just always
yeah.
laugh about how different it is downtown now
Yeah.
versus not even that long ago. Like, that's been so much work put into that area.
Yeah, no, it's come a really long way. It's
It
been
has.
amazing.
Yeah. What would you say sets you apart from the other candidates besides maybe your experience?
I think that I'm born and raised here for one thing. I guess
Hmm.
we covered that, but with the executive leadership experience and technical know-how, that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
I'm not. The other thing too, I'm not a politician.
Right.
Like our previous two mayors,
Right.
I've never run for political office. I did
Yeah.
run for student council in
Okay.
junior high. They were still junior highs back
So a
then.
little taste of it then.
I did win, and I delivered on my promises. I will
Perfect.
let you know that.
Okay.
But so I think when I'm talking to voters too, I hear from a lot of folks that they're just kind of sick of politics and they
Hmm.
want, it's a nonpartisan race
Yeah,
anyways.
it is.
But I've always kind of been a little bit apolitical. I try to just look to common sense solutions to really
Sure.
move things forward. That's
Sure.
how I approach things with downtown Sioux Falls, and I've got a good track record for doing that. I mean,
Yeah.
I've shown that I can take the heart of our city and make it even better. I want to bring that same passion and experience to the entire city.
Sure. That's great. What do you look forward to doing with your family this summer? Any
Well,
big plans?
we've talked about taking a trip, but it's all just talk at this point.
Yeah.
My youngest son turns 13 and he wants to go to Wisconsin Dells.
Oh, yes, we do that
So
sometimes in the summer.
if I have an opportunity to do that,
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Otherwise, it's probably taking a long weekend trip to Okoboji or something like that.
That's a good choice too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides work and campaigning, do you have any hobbies?
I do. In the wintertime, I like to snowboard.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up going out to Great Bear.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of been part of my entire life, really.
Yeah.
Skiing and snowboarding. In the summertime, my wife and my kids and I, we go on a lot of hikes. We'll go
Okay.
to a lot of state parks and recreation
That's cool.
areas around Sioux Falls primarily. And
Yeah.
those are that's kind of like the main summertime activity.
So kind of outdoorsy stuff.
Yeah, well, like I said, I lived in Colorado.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
hiking here is not quite the same
Yeah.
as Colorado, but
Right.
it's still just that draw to nature and just
Sure.
wanting to be out in open space.
Yeah, that makes sense. What is something you've learned so far from campaigning? I know you've done a ton of forums,
Yeah.
talking to people. What's something you've learned from campaigning, you think?
People just want to be listened to.
Yes.
I think that the connections that I've made have been just so enriching in so many ways.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, different people have different interests, different priorities, of course. And there's so many things that I hadn't even really thought about until I got
Yeah.
out campaigning. And next thing you know, you're hearing about how somebody thinks we need more softball fields or whatever
Right.
it is,
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that if you win, do you think you would like to continue doing some forums to kind of talk to people like that, like town hall kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. That is something that I want to bake into my 2030 plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a community survey that was done, and there were 10 categories. The two lowest rated categories, one was engagement and one was safety. I want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we elevate both of those, and particularly with engagement, I've got some plans for working with neighborhoods to help
Yes.
empower the neighborhoods, to help
Yeah.
really kind of craft a vision and a plan for how they want to better themselves.
Yeah.
And then I would love to do town hall
Yeah.
types of discussions, at least on a quarterly basis. Maybe it's
Yeah.
as frequently as every month, but wrestling with community
Yeah.
issues, because a lot of times people show up to city council and
Yeah.
it's almost too late for a lot of people
Yeah.
to
For
engage at that
sure.
point, and we
For
want to
sure.
get that conversation started
Before.
6 months earlier or
Yeah.
whatever. So like the data center discussion, I
Yeah.
think that that's something that it would have been beneficial to have some kind of town hall community engagement type of meeting
For sure.
last summer.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a great way to build community too, get everyone to come together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So on June 2nd, what are you going to do to watch the votes come in?
Well, we are going to go to the attic with my team and my supporters,
Yeah.
and we're gonna post up there. Acquaintance of mine from junior high and high school is part of the ownership team there.
For
So
sure.
it'll be a good opportunity to bring all the supporters
Yeah.
and campaign team together and just celebrate all the hard work that
For
has
sure.
gone into this campaign.
Yeah, that's great. One last question. Current song on repeat.
I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I've been listening to a lot of Audio Slave lately.
Okay.
And I was never really into Audio Slave when they were popular.
Yeah.
I Am the Highway is maybe it's just called Highway. I can't remember, but for whatever reason, like Chris Cornell's voice is just so haunting.
Yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
like he had such a beautiful voice, and for whatever reason, that song
That's
just
what you're
kind of
stuck
speaks
on
to
right
me
now?
right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. I like that. Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
Yeah, this has been fun, Jess.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And good luck on June 2nd.
Thank you.